How long have you been a lesbian?
I never understand what that means, because as far as I'm concerned, I was born that way.
Tonight, our journalist at large, Vito Russo, talks with Peter Adair and Lucy Massey Phoenix about the making of their new film, Word Is Out. Also this evening, the Emerald City goes inside Jan Wallman's restaurant for a look at singer Ava Williams.
Good evening, and welcome once again to the Emerald City. For the past several years, 7 or 8 very dedicated people have been working with a virtual passion on a unique film documentary which they recently completed and just released in San Francisco. I've personally seen the film go through various stages of development over the past 2 or 3 years, and at that point they'd already been working on it a while. So needless to say, a lot of time, effort, and serious thought have gone into the film, which is entitled Word Is Out. This evening, film journalist Vito Russo will be talking with Peter Adair and Lucy Massey Phoenix, who are 2 of the people who made the film. Later, it's off to our very favorite restaurant here in the village, Jan Wallman's, which is located on Cornelia Street. You'll be meeting one of the city's foremost hostesses, who's been charming villagers for not that many years. Jan Wallman is presenting on Sunday evenings the song style of Ava Williams, who's a legend in her own right. Many of you might remember her as the toast of P-Town. She's a terrific performer with an interesting repertoire, and I'm sure you're going to love her. We'll pause here to thank those who make this program possible and return shortly. Don't go away.
Keep good memories with good music. You'll find it all at Happy Tunes. Happy Tunes, 53 West 8th Street in the Village.
Mandate, for men who walk on the wild side. In Mandate, you'll meet the bad and the beautiful, the high and the mighty, the punky, the hunky, the very grand funky, the butch and the brawny. In Mandate, there are views, reviews, interviews, the manly, the macho, the much too much. Monthly, in Mandate, the best-selling magazine of its kind in the world for men who walk on the wild side. Mandate.
Now is the time to visit the world's largest emporium of erotica. Come, experience New York's most extensive selection of adult magazines, films, and paperbacks. 250 Book Center and G&A Books. No matter what you're seeing, if it's the finest in visuals you're after, we've got it all. 2 locations in Manhattan. 250 Book Center at 250 West 42nd Street. G&A Bookstore located at 251 West 42nd Street. Come on over. You never know who you might bump into.
Metrolines, 24-hour live answering service. Rates are from $5 monthly. Friendly, efficient Metrolines.
There was one girl that used to sing soprano in the choir, and I thought she was just wonderful. And the boys all called me Sissy because I always wanted to walk home with her instead of walk home with the fellows. All the fellows were walking together, you know, say between 7 and 10 or 7 and 11. And I was about 8 or 9, and I wanted to walk with the girls. later on, when they started walking with the girls, this is when I decided I wanted to walk with the boys.
I decided I was in love with this woman who was obviously not in love with me. And the thing to do was escape into the Women's Army Corps and go to Paris, where Gertrude Stein had been. And to see, of course, you know, little did I know that I was never going to get to see Paris. So I remember I went down to the Black Hawk Hotel in Davenport, Iowa, where the recruiting sergeant was, and she was just darling to me. She looked sort of like all my old gym teachers in drag. Stomping around with little earrings, and, you know, her hair slicked back, but very daintily done, so you couldn't tell she was a dyke. But I knew.
Hello again. I'm Vito Russo, and I'm here with Lucy Massey Phoenix and Peter Adair, who are 2 of 6 filmmakers who have been working for the past 5 years on a new documentary film called Word Is Out, Stories of Some of Our Lives. The film has been playing in San Francisco since December, and it opens in New York very soon. Hello, Peter. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, Vito.
I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the reaction to the film in San Francisco. What's been going on out there?
Well, it was a film that we have been making for a long time and never intended it for television, for theaters, and the response from early screenings led us to think that it would be worthwhile testing it in the theater, and we did. And we opened at the beginning of December, and it's still there. And based on that response and the length that it's running there, and we don't know how much longer it's going to run, it's an open-ended run, we decided to open in New York, which we'll probably do near the end of February. Not sure where yet.
Tell us a little bit about the film, about your concept, original concept for the film, and what you now think it's turned into for each of you.
You started, Peter.
Okay. Well, originally the film, I was a producer for television and felt that I never saw anything that was really good on gay people, other than, you know, gay people come and talk on the, you know, some talk shows. And I felt there was no really major kind of work on lesbians and gay men. And I felt something needed, if for classroom use, if nothing else. And so that's how the film began. It's just a film of portraits for classroom use. This was 5 years ago, and as it sort of grew from there. In early screenings of the film, there were 8 people presented in portraits, and audiences were looking at it and feeling that, oh, this is who gay people are. And so it was a much smaller film, and we realized that the only way to answer the sort of importance that audiences were giving to the film, which we had never intended, was to enlarge in it. So we then shot a great deal more footage. We ended up shooting 50 hours of footage and cutting it down to 2 hours, which it is now, a little longer than 2 hours. And it's simply portraits of 26 gay men and women from all over the country. So I guess
Cut down from how many people originally?
At the beginning, about 140 interviews have been done on videotape, as we were doing before any of the film was shot. Videotapes were taken of people, and then at each point in which the film has been enlarged, other videotapes have been done. So we have quite a lot of experiences of people on videotape.
Really?
And the people who are in the film now represent themselves. Essentially, they are the individual interviews, but we also very much wanted them to speak to and for a very wide spectrum of people, both straight and gay, I think. I mean, I think that the appeal of the film is a very large appeal because the experiences of the people in the film.
The reason for the videotaping is that we felt an enormous responsibility because since there is no film, or to my knowledge, any book on the sort of the breadth of the gay community, we felt that we had to go out and find out what it was, even though we're gay. All 6 of the filmmakers are gay. And for that reason, we traveled across the country videotaping interviews with people to really find out. Because I think almost every gay person's knowledge of the community is in their immediate circle of friends. And so then based on those interviews, we then went back and filmed the people that are in the film.
Right. And this is the most incredible array of kinds of people in the film. Even though there are only 26, as whittled down from 140, what kind of criteria? I mean, did you go out looking for specific kinds of people, or did you suddenly discover that there were fabulous people that you wanted to get and you couldn't do without? Did you have any kind of an original criteria for choosing gay people for the film?
Well, I think our original criteria was people that were just interesting on screen.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing is the project began very slowly, and we began videotaping interviews. And the more we began doing, the more we realized how these were stories that have never been told. You know, every tape that we did was fascinating in its own way. And I would say at least half of them were as good as the ones that finally we used, was amazing.
Yeah.
Because there are thousands and thousands of years of stories that have never been allowed to be told.
It was just sort of a man's role, being in the Army. And it attracted a lot of the women I knew came down for their interviews in drag.
What do you mean?
Wearing men's clothes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Wearing Argyle socks and pinstripe suits and the hair cut just like a man with sideburns, shaved over the ears, the whole bit. And they let them in, you know, like that. Much to the credit of the Army psychiatrist, who would say, you know, have you ever been in love with a woman? And of course you would say, of course not. What's a woman? I just love men sitting there in your pinstripe suit.
I had been working in Tahoe as a change girl, even though I was a bit young, and he was in the service. And he called me from San Diego, and being young and living in an atmosphere in Tahoe that was really fast, I just took up one day and split. I went down to San Diego, and we went down to Mexico and were married. It was a few days before I was 18, actually. And then we came back to the States, and he was out of the service. We came up to San Mateo, and we lived here, and right away my children started being born.
When I was about 14, I was going with a girl at that time, and the guy she had been going with before had been gay and had taken her down to the gay beach in Santa Monica in Los Angeles, and so she thought it'd be a hoot and took me down there one time. And so I...
Little did she know.
Well, that was it. You know, I walked down the beach and I was, you know, I don't know, I was I guess a fairly hunky little teenager, and I walked out there and I got invited to parties, and I met people and did things, and people took me out, and I said, fantastic, you know, this is for me.
So I decided I would ask my mother just exactly what a homosexual was. Oh my God. Her reaction was just so violent that it's really scared me. She screamed, you know, where did you hear that word?
I felt the desire and the warmth and the need for company of men, which was related sexually too, and I couldn't explain this to anybody. You know, if I was dating girls, you know, it would have been maybe you know, my dad would have liked that, as he did when my brother dated girls, and you know, even fooled around with girls. It was a big thing, and my dad used to joke about it, and it was a very in thing, and it was fun, and everybody accepted that. But I couldn't bring that home.
But then at 9, the family moved to the farm again, to a ranch, and it was there within a year that I met the young men, Joe, with whom I fell in love. I was 10, I guess, and Joe was 12 when that occurred.
I came in with my suitcase and staggering down to the mess hall, and I heard a voice from one of the barracks say, "Good God, Elizabeth, look, here comes another one." And
They immediately knew you were gay?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Did.
Do you think you were stereotypically dykey then?
No, not at all. Never was, really. One short period when I was first in the Army, I tried it, and I looked so weird.
Why?
Well, I just don't, I'm not shaped like a man, you know. Yeah, there was a lot of pressure that you should look butch, if you were.
Huh.
And, of course, you wanted to, because you wanted to be identified, you know, as a dyke. But it was frightening, because if you weren't really like that, and you knew you were acting all the time, and there was no way to counter it so you could really be yourself.
So I think our first criteria was just people that we responded to that came across on screen the best.
Yeah.
And then we began having other criteria, such as trying to get people outside of the Bay Area where the original people were done and so on.
Right, right. There was I noticed in the film, for instance, there are some people who are recognizable to the gay community. Henry Hay, who was one of the early founders of the Mattachine Society in the 50s, who has a marvelous perspective on gay history, what it was like to be gay in the 30s and the 40s. And there are people who talk what it was like to be gay in the 50s in their various situations. But did you make a conscious effort not to use too many people who are so-called movement-type individual stars recognizable by gay people who read the gay press, and make it just ordinary lesbians and gay men from all walks of life instead? Was there discussion about that? Yes, Lucy?
Yeah. We did. The impact of the film is I think in its universality.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole emphasis on stars, which, well, there is an emphasis on stars, and stars are played up, and these people have stories to tell, and they're stars in their own right. So we really wanted the common experience of people to be told. And as it turns out, no one's experience is common, and everyone's experience is common. We all share some things, and yet each one of these people has a story that hasn't been told in a way that probably stars more
have been.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think the form of the film is very much follows what Lucy says, and that everyone's story is individual, but they're all the same, and that the film tells all 26 stories more or less at the same time. In other words, the people's stories, and there is a kind of commonality that emerges from that I think speaks initially to all gay people, at least that's what we've been told. And then beyond that, a lot of our experiences, although a lot of us don't like to believe this, are very much like straight experiences. First sex is in some ways very much like hetero first sex or homo first sex, has the same kind of traumas attached, or similar traumas.
Yeah. And so the people watching, whoever the people watching the film are, they're going to find themselves, probably, or at least think about their history and their lives. And they're certainly going to hear people talking about things that they have not talked with somebody before about. Many of us don't talk with each other in the same way that the people in the film talk.
Right. It's interesting. Go on.
No, go ahead.
In this experimental run in San Francisco, we gave out forms to the audience to see if indeed they were getting off on the film. And out of these forms, we've now gotten about 2,000 back. Okay. We've asked the audience, both the straight members of the audience and the gay members, would you recommend this film to a friend? We've gotten 7 who said no.
That's incredible.
So it's talking to somebody.
Well, perhaps you will recommend this film to a friend. It's called Word Is Out, Stories of Some of Our Lives, and you'll be able to see it soon in your local theater. Thank you, Lucy and Peter, and good night from the Emerald City. This is Vito Russo.
Ice Palace 57, a new age in disco. Ice Palace 57, the total nocturnal experience. The best location, the brightest room, and the most beautiful people. Ice Palace 57. No membership required. Hard to believe, but true.
Come to Man's Country. See what we're all about and what we have to offer. Man's Country is a full facility, multi-leveled complex that was designed to feature something for everyone. Come to Man's Country and develop your body, or a friendship with somebody else's. Visit us once and you'll come again and again. For the best workout in town, it's Man's Country, 28 West 15th Street.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into...
Wouldn't you like to get out of the city once in a while? Are you tired of the same old places, the same old faces? Wouldn't you like a place that wasn't too far away, but just far enough? A place where movies are shown twice a week, where you can play pool or pinball with friends, or just friendly strangers. If this sounds like your kind of place, make headway for Billy the Kid in Jackson Heights, Queens. Take the BMT to 76th Street. We're located directly under the L at 7607 Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights. Billy the Kid, come on.
The Big Top is growing. The people who brought you the finest in adult films now introduce the Broadway Arms, Manhattan's newest 24-hour action spot. The Broadway Arms is a one-stop, complete leisure facility designed for your total enjoyment. While there, visit the Cafe Espresso, home of the Queen Burger, the place where you can get a good piece of meat anytime. The Big Top Theater, the Broadway Arms, and the Cafe Espresso, all open 24 hours. We doze, but never close.
To
many villagers, the name Jan Wallman is as familiar as Coca-Cola. Her popularity as a hostess and impresario are common in both straight and gay circles. Her restaurant, located here at 28 Cornelia Street in the Greenwich Village, is a regular spot for many celebrities and non-celebrities who she's helped launch into show business over the years. Good evening, Jan Wallman.
Hello, Frank.
Quite a crowd you have here this evening.
We're pretty busy.
Jan, how did you get started in this business?
Oh, it was so long ago I don't even remember.
You must have. Come on, you can tell us something about this.
I started out in the nightclub business, but I'm very happy to be in the restaurant business today because I think that's what's happening today. Restaurants and bars, intimate little places are the fun places today.
You say intimate, that's interesting because you're on a first name basis with it seems like half of New York. Tell me something about that.
Well, I've been around this business for a little while, Frank. It's, I didn't start today, and I've met a great many people, and I'm very happy that they come in to see me.
And they keep coming back and back.
Well, I think we have something to offer here. We have very good food. We have good drinks. We have Ava Williams playing the piano on Sunday nights, Wes McAfee on Friday and Saturday. So there's always something happening down here.
And your charisma, probably.
Thank you very much.
Which you probably discount. You don't even consider that. I bet you don't. You're very modest.
Thank you.
You've helped push many a rising star along the way. I mean, I know you were for years on Grove Street. Can you tell me something about that?
Well, a lot of people started with me, and I was instrumental in the very beginnings of their careers, and I was interested in watching them move, watching it happen with people like Joan Rivers and Woody Allen and George Segal, the movie star, and Dick Cavett, and my darling Joanne Worley and Ruth Buzzy, and Barry Manilow, who used to work for me as an accompanist. Some marvelous people started out in my room. Stiller and Mira, many friends.
Have you ever had any aspirations yourself?
Oh, no, not really.
Wait a minute, you were featured in a cult classic, Dragula, which was some years back, which we've been trying to get a hold of in a print to use on the show for some time. Tell me something about that. You played Cal Culver's mother in a movie.
I played Cal Culver's mother. That's what I did in that movie. It was a lot of fun. We had a wonderful time doing it, but I didn't envision myself as having a real movie career.
It worked, though, didn't it?
It worked, and I hope you can get it for the show. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Tell me something about Ava Williams.
Ava Williams is a marvelous lady who's been singing and playing the piano for a long time. She's always kept very young and very beautiful and very today with what she does. She does the old songs, too. She's got something for everybody.
She's going to play something for us tonight?
She's going to play something for us tonight. Whenever you're ready.
And any special selections?
Whatever you'd like to hear.
Okay.
Whatever the house would like to hear.
Okay. Without further ado, let's listen to Ava.
Thank you. Now it's good, isn't it great? Isn't it grand? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it nowadays? Men everywhere, girls everywhere, jazz everywhere, love everywhere. Isn't it fun nowadays? You can live the life you're living, like the life you like. You can even marry Harry and cruise around with Ike. Now that's good, isn't it great? Isn't it grand? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? But nothing stays. In 50 years or so, it's bound to change, I know. But isn't it heaven nowadays? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. One thing I know, and I've always known, I have a lot of good friends. Baby's alive, but baby's alone. Baby's her own best friend. Many's the time they told me they cared, but they were scratching my back, 'cause I was scratching theirs. Trusting to luck, is just for fools. I play the game where I make the rule. Rule number one, right to the end, is I am my own best friend. Three musketeers who never say die are standing right here, me, myself, and I. If life is a school, I'll pass every test. If life is a game, I'm gonna play it the best. 'Cause I won't give in, and I'll never bend. That's why I am my own best friend. Thank you.
This has got to be one of the brightest spots in town if you need your spirits lifted. From Jan Wallman's restaurant at 28 Cornelia Street in the heart of Greenwich Village, this is Frank O'Dowd. Good night from the Emerald City.
If you're interested in where to buy, what to find, and how to pay, spend your money gay. Pick up a copy of the Gay Yellow Pages and shop around.
Twilight, New York's only true international cruise bar with unbeatable service and drinks. At Twilight, people don't just stand around and pose, they talk, meet, and react. Visit Twilight tonight.
You'll be surprised how much you'll find out about the gay scene in Where It's at your newsstand every week.
Were you there New Year's Eve?
We would also like to credit Andrew Brown, Veronica Silver, Nancy Adair, and Rob Epstein for helping to create Word Is Out. Special thanks to Jimmy Vito for his assistance on tonight's program, and thank you, Walter Kent, for your continued support.
Were you there? Summer Mountain at 18. Kissed her barely woman lips and frightened myself away.